Okay, welcome back everyone for our next session of our 15-minute yoga. So today we're going to take it down a notch. We're going to slow right down and do a little bit of yin yoga. So yesterday with our chair pose sequence, we went quite hard, particularly through the legs. We really did a lot of work with our muscles through this area. So I don't know about you guys, but today I'm feeling quite tight and sore through the legs. So I really want to do a bit of work to stretch out through the areas, particularly the hamstrings and the quadricep muscles from the knee up to the hips. But also just slow down our energy a little bit, just come into a bit more stillness with a nice yin practice, okay? So in yin yoga, we usually hold poses for approximately 3 to 5 minutes, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. But today, for our purposes, we will just do a bit of an overview of some of the poses. If you have time, you're more than welcome to stay in these longer, but I'll just be demonstrating these ones today and you can take them as you need. Okay, so to begin with, we're going to do a little bit of Ujjayi breath. So this one, it lengthens the exhale by constricting the throat slightly. So it's a little bit like Darth Vader breath, you know, that sound that Darth Vader creates, that sound, okay? But we're going to do it with the mouth shut. All right, so inhale deeply. And on the exhale, Ujjayi breath. So it's that kind of ocean sound that we create with the exhalation. Once again, deep inhale. And exhale. Few more rounds of this. Just steadying yourself. Silencing the thoughts and the body. Coming completely into your practice today. And when you're ready, we're going to start to rotate the head and neck, moving in a clockwise direction to begin with, 3 times in one way. Nice and slow. Okay, 3 times in the opposite direction now. Moving out any tightness through the neck. All right, shrugging the shoulders backwards now, expanding through the chest. 3 times, one direction, and then change, moving the rotation forwards. All right, soles of the feet together now. We're going to inhale to extend the spine, exhale just to melt our way forward into this pose. To create more intensity in the pose, you can move the heels closer towards the pelvis and less intensity further away. But find your appropriate depth here. And drop into the pose. Relaxing those knees down towards the ground. Softening through the shoulders. Allowing gravity to take over here in the pose. We're not forcing our way into this one. We're just kind of dropping down. All right, rolling on up. When you're ready, we're going to start to work on our legs. So extending that right leg, tucking the left leg in so the sole of the foot is against the thigh. And again, we're going to melt over that extended leg, I really want to point out the difference between this kind of approach rather than more of a hatha style when we're really extending and using our muscles to work into this. We're not engaging our muscles here, we're actually trying to relax the muscles, moving that stretch from the joint. We're working on the health of our joints here, creating space through this area, which helps in turn with our mobility and range of movement. Alright, calming on up, and we're going to change sides, extending the left leg, keeping the right leg tucked, and dropping on down into the pose. You can, if you like, support the joint with the hands underneath the legs. This creates a little bit more control as we move into the stretch. Alright, coming on up here, we're going to extend both legs out now. Alright, and remembering our Ujjayi breath, that slow, steady exhalation as we drop down. Relax the feet. You can support underneath the knees if you like. Relaxing the head down. Softening from the shoulders. Moving the stretch up over the calf muscles and the hamstrings. Enjoying that opening all the way through the spine as well. As you breathe a little bit deeper into this pose. Alright, slowly coming on up here. Okay, we're going to come and bring our emphasis now, our focus to the other side of the legs, so the quadricep muscles from the knee up towards the hip. I'm going to take a pose called saddle. We'll do half saddle pose first. Now, if you have a blanket or some kind of flat cushioning, you can even use your jacket here. It's nice to place it underneath the foot. Just helps create a bit more space for the blood to flow, so it prevents pins and needles and discomfort through this area. But just for demonstration purposes, you can see I've got my heel right next to the hip. Okay, so flat on the ground. So I'll cushion it a bit more here. All right, so right leg is extended, the left leg is bent here. You can just hang out here if you like. That might be deep enough for you today. But if you'd like to deepen, you can bring yourself down to forearms. Just test the stretch out here. If you're happy with that and you'd like to go deeper, perhaps bringing your bolster or pillow to your back and then slowly coming down to move that stretch, particularly from the knee up towards the hip. You'll feel it moving over the abs as well here as well. Steady the breath. Alright, slowly coming on up. Just be mindful of the knee joint as you exit this pose. Alright, slow and steady is the key in this practice. And we're going to change sides. So the heel is directly next to the hip. Cushion yourself as you need. Staying here. Down to the forearms. Or down to the ground. slowly coming on up. I really encourage you to stay in these poses longer if you have the time, because you really get the benefits if you spend that extra bit of time to really explore the pose deeply. Okay, and we're going to do full saddle pose now. So popping both feet next to the hips now. This is optional. If the first variations were deep enough for you, you can sit this one out if you like, but if you're really feeling open today, you can drop slowly into this one, either on the forearms or down to the ground. This one is quite a challenge, so use that Ujjayi breath to slow the response of the body. So we're moving out of that fight-flight response, which is tempting to go into when it's a challenging pose. But by calming and lengthening the breath, we switch our brains into that relaxation state. Just letting ourselves know everything is under control. Our muscles can release their tension. Alright, calming on out when you're ready. Careful on the exit. Give those legs a bit of a rub and a wiggle. Okay, and we're going to finish up now with a little bit of work for the hips before we move into our relaxation. So coming all the way down to the ground, hugging those knees in, and then bringing the right ankle across the left knee, interlacing the hands through the gap in the leg. We're coming into either needle for the legs, and just grabbing just underneath the knee here to move the stretch through the outer right hip. This one's too deep for you. You can either just allow the left foot to come to the ground, or you can prop it up a little bit more by placing something underneath the left leg. Or a really nice option is to bring the left leg up against a wall to hold you into place here. Otherwise, just taking that first variation. And then changing sides when you're ready. Moving the stretch through the outer left hip now. Alright, releasing the pose now. Hug those knees in and just gently rock from side to side, massaging through the lower back to finish up. Beautiful work, extending the legs long. Coming now to your Shavasana. Take a deep breath in.